Yeah, I absolutely think it does have legs, actually. We had a very, very long dollar position very early in the year when the market was selling off, and that's been totally switched around into a fairly substantial short position. And I think that position will get squeezed back out. And it got flipped into a short position without a huge move, actually. Euro's still 113, and I think that there's potential for the dollar to see significant strength over the next few months.
Are we seeing support from the yields as well, on Treasury yields on the benchmark 10-year? And is that telling you that perhaps the Fed is going to bite the bullet and go in June?
I don't think the Fed will go in June. I think the 10-year yield's 171. I mean, I don't know if that's particularly supportive for the dollar, but it's still a positive yield compared to, say, Europe, where most of the bonds are yielding negative yields. But I think it's very difficult for the Fed to go 8 days ahead of the Brexit vote in June. So, that is very, very teetering on the edge, that Brexit vote, and I think that they'll probably delay until July for that reason.
All right, so if the base case is for a strengthening US dollar, then that takes some of the appreciation pressure off the Japanese yen. Where do you see dollar yen year end?
Oh, look, I think dollar yen can actually go significantly higher again. I think that there's still pressure on the BOJ to ease further, and I think that they will continue to look to ease. So, for me, I think that this 105 to 107 area has been holding well. People have been expecting it to break lower, and it hasn't. And I think that we could probably have a run up towards 115 over the next few months.
The recent yen strength, how much of that is a factor of a soft dollar, and how much of it was a reflection of a perceived lack of credibility in the BOJ?
I think a lot of it was about the perceived lack of credibility in the BOJ, especially after they went to negative rates, which shook people up. And the fact that the negative rates didn't see a substantial weakening in the yen, I think, has unwound a lot of the positions. And I think that they need to do more to get that credibility back. How
much more? Because there's a sense that they are reaching the end of the road here in terms of JGB purchases, which they can arguably extend the balance sheet. ETF purchases, equity-linked purchases, is that the next step?
I think they have to diversify further away from JGBs to help support the market, I do. And I also think that they will continue to look at lowering the rate into more negative territory as well.
When you look at the data over the weekend from China, what does that tell you about what the yuan is going to do? Does depreciation pressure remain on the currency?
Look, I think that the yuan, it's still got a lot of potential to depreciate. I think that it'll be controlled all the way, and I think that the Chinese authorities would rather have a weaker currency to help stimulate, but they're aware of letting the currency go is causing too much volatility in the markets across the globe, so they're being careful.
OK, let me get your view on the Brexit vote. It's looming, June the 23rd. It's clear we're going to see increased two-way vol in cable, but can we say in terms of ranges 140, 147, is that a fair assumption?
Look, I think we're going to see a lot more volatility, not just in cable, but also in the euro. I think it's a bad thing for the euro as well.
Us that, yeah.
Implied vol is telling us that. I think it will go higher. We're going to suggest to our clients to express views by buying options rather than in the spot going forward. But it's a 30% probability at the moment, based on the betting odds that the sterling will exit. But it's a 30% probability of a very, very disruptive event. So, you can't underestimate how big that event would be if they vote to leave.
Just a quick one on oil. We are seeing a degree of stabilisation in the oil price. Where does that leave Canadian dollar, Norwegian krone, etc., those oil-sensitive currencies? Do we re-rate them?
I wouldn't say entirely. For me, I think that we're going to stay in a range of $35 to $50. So we're now towards the top end of that range in Brent, and sort of still the top end in WTI as well. I think as dollar strength returns, that we'll probably see oil drifting back down into the middle of that range, and that Norway and Canada will stay under pressure.